From Iraq tonight, we have an exclusive look at what has become the single most dangerous city in that country for U.S. forces. An hour west of Baghdad, terrorists hold the city of Ramadi in a deadly grip, fueling the insurgency and taking a terrible toll on the several thousand American troops who are trying to hold them at bay.
In 2006, Ramadi was the worst part of Iraq. It's the capital of Al-Anbar province, the biggest state in Iraq. It was a total war zone.
We were facing in what I would deem as evil an enemy as the U.S. has ever faced.
Back then, the enemy was identified as AQI, Al-Qaeda Iraq.
You're talking about, some of the same people who are now ISIS. When you see the kind of things that they do to people and just the torture and rape and murder, talking people into becoming suicide bombers, anyone that stood against them, I mean, they're going to cut their head off and make an example out of them, and they're absolutely brutal and ruthless. And Ramadi was kind of the epicenter of their insurgency. The Marine Corps and Army units that were there, they were doing their utmost to beat back insurgent attacks and defend their bases. But they certainly took a huge amount of casualties. I think they had 94 guys killed in action and several hundred wounded, in the 15 months that they spent there.
The guys that were there fighting before us, they had kind of surrounded the city, but there was no major combat outposts inside the city.
The conventional forces, all the things they wanted to do, building cops, combat outposts, and forging relationships with the local populace and the sheikhs and all that. It's kind of hard to do when you have an untouched enemy force who's just running rampant throughout that area.
The other problem is the urban environment. The enemy can fade in and out of the populace in a split second. All they have to do is put down their weapon and they're a civilian. The IED threat is completely, horrible.
Improvised explosive device. It's a roadside bomb.
In an urban environment, everything is man-made. So anything could be an IED. And they would make IEDs look like curbs and look like brick walls and look like mailboxes or whatever.
Among military commanders, there is a growing sense that defeating the enemy there may be impossible.
There was a Marine Corps intelligence report that was leaked to the press in the spring of 2006. U.S. forces are militarily incapable of defeating the insurgency in Ramadi and in Anbar.
It was described as an unwinnable situation.
What other people see as impossible is possible with the right folks who believe in the mission. Guys like Marc Lee really believed in this mission, that we are trying to liberate the Iraqi people from an evil insurgency.
I totally believed in what we were doing there. I mean, somebody has to kill the bad guys. And I think we were the best suited for that.
It was the worst thing I'd ever seen in my entire life.